And first up on this news edition, retired Justice D. John Michael has submitted the report to Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on the Bengaluru stampede and what exactly happened. Now, in his report, the retired justice has opined that all stakeholders have committed negligence and negligence that's culpable in nature. Whether it's Royal Challengers Bengaluru, or the Karnataka State Cricket Association, or the other participants who were responsible for organizing that celebration event. Even the cops have been held responsible for the stampede in the report. The report specifically, every name has been there mentioned inside the report. But will Karnataka Chief Minister and the Cabinet accept it or not? If accepted, then probe will be conducted against all those who have been named as accused for criminal negligence in the case. Take a look at what Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said when he was asked about the report, and my colleague Deepak Bopanna has more details.
Michael Kuna is a retired High Court judge, Karnataka High Court judge. He submitted a report today to me and the Chief Secretary also. Chief Secretary was also there. The report is in 2 volumes.
Well, retired Justice Michael D. Kuna has submitted his report in connection to the Bengaluru stampede to the Karnataka Chief Minister. It's quite a voluminous report. The Chief Minister himself, of course, has confirmed that it is in 2 volumes. Mainly its findings and its recommendations that are present here. Some strong observations and findings by the commission here. Now, we should note that the commission, according to top sources who have told NDTV here, that all the stakeholders in this particular instance, be it RCB, KSCA, even DNA, and more importantly, the police have also been named as those who are responsible for negligence. In fact, it's culpable negligence and even dereliction of duty that the cops as well have been accused of. Now, what makes it very interesting here is that if the cabinet, which is of course going to look at this report when it's going to be placed by the Karnataka Chief Minister, approves of this, this would mean that there could be an internal departmental inquiry that could be ordered against these police officers, many of whom are already suspended. There's also a possibility that their names could also now be included in the case that is already registered. So that could spell more trouble for the police officers. Apart from this, they've also here noted that Chinnaswamy Stadium, they're saying that is not an appropriate place to host such a event or an event of such a large scale. They've spoken about how they do not have proper facilities in place, lack of fire safety measures, no ambulance present during that day, the gates being too small, and several other findings of the report are there, and many recommendations too, which the cabinet will review and probably look to implement in the coming days to ensure that such a tragedy is averted in the future.
And now all eyes are on the investigation that is being carried out in the Air India 171 crash. What exactly happened? What happened in those 32 seconds? So we will tell you once the report comes out, and we are constantly tracking all the latest details. Now, in response to a media query on the preliminary report of the Ahmedabad plane crash, Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu has said that the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau is working on it, and the report is very likely to come out very soon. My colleague Vishnu Shom is also joining me with more details. Take a look.
What we don't know at this juncture is where it's going to be released, in what form it's going to be released. Is it going to be just a press release on the website of the investigating body, the AAIB, or will there be a full-fledged press conference? Will the aviation minister be involved? This is all critical because transparency and communications so very important in all of this. And one of the key areas where the AAIB, the investigators, have been criticized in their lack of transparency, by which people are essentially suggesting that they needed to have communicated better with the international media, because this is certainly a case which people around the world are looking at, whether it's airlines, whether it's the families of those who've lost so much, or the various companies which are involved. The key question, if this report is released, and we believe that it is likely to be released, this is the preliminary report, will it offer definitive proof or suggestions on what exactly resulted in the crash of AI-171, in which which 260 people, including people on the ground, lost their lives when an Air India Dreamliner on a flight from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick went down within 35 seconds of taking off from Ahmedabad.
Shifting our focus to the Gurugram gruesome shocker that was coming in when a 25-year-old former state-level tennis player was shot dead by her own father, Deepak Yadav. Now, as per reports, 4 bullets were fired and were recovered from Radhika Yadav's body. This is as per the autopsy report that was carried out, as well as the accused father has been sent to one-day police custody. Meanwhile, the father has allegedly confessed to killing his own daughter while she was cooking food in the kitchen. Now, as per reports, she was killed because of the social media reels that she was making, the tennis academy that she was running, and also the income and the independence that she was enjoying in the house. These are some theories that are floating around, due to which she was killed. Take a look at our report.
A medieval horror in the Millennium City. A young, promising tennis player, 25-year-old Radhika Yadav, was shot dead by her own father inside their home in Gurugram. A murder that has sent shockwaves across the country. What could lead a father to shoot his own daughter? Radhika was a state-level tennis player, a daughter, a coach, and the pride of the family, until that pride turned into taunts and then murderous rage. Her father, Deepak Yadav, shot her using his licensed .32 bore revolver. According to the FIR, Radhika and her mother, Manju Yadav, lived on the first floor of their Sushant Lok residence. Shockingly, Manju was at home when the murder happened, in the same portion of the house.
देखिए, ये जो वीडियो है, ये वीडियो इस हत्या की वारदात से करीब 1.25 से 1.5 साल पहले का है, और जो फिलहाल तक इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसमें परिवार ने बताया है कि ये वीडियो उनके कंसेंट से बनाया गया था, और इस वीडियो को लेकर के कहीं भी कोई डाउट ना तो पुलिस के समक्ष है और ना ही इन्वेस्टिगेशन में कोई ऐसा फैक्ट सामने आया है। हत्या की सिर्फ फिलहाल तक एक ही वजह सामने आई है, वो था टेनिस एकेडमी।
Radhika's uncle Kuldeep Yadav was the first to reach the spot after hearing gunshots. He alleges that Deepak was unhappy with Radhika's growing independence and success, especially her tennis academy, which she ran independently. The accused father has told police that locals taunted him for living off daughter's income, and that enraged him, which led to the murder. A stark reminder of the patriarchal and medieval mindset that still endangers women in our country. Then there was also Radhika's love for making reels and music videos that further led to regular confrontations with her father. The motive behind the killing is still under scrutiny, but questions are also being raised about why Manju Yadav, present in the house, neither heard nor intervened. She has so far refused to record a formal statement with the police.
हत्या की जो पीछे की वजह है वो एक टेनिस एकेडमी चलाने है, जिसके लिए उन्होंने मना किया तो उसने ये बात नहीं मानी, तो इसकी वजह से उन्होंने गुस्से में इस वारदात को अंजाम दिया गया। कुछ पेंडिंग लीगल प्रोसेस हैं जिनको पूरी करने के लिए पुलिस के द्वारा उनकी कस्टडी हासिल की गई है।
कितने दिन की रिमांड मिली है?
1 दिन का मिला है।
1 दिन का। सर, क्या कुछ रिकवरी करनी है या कहानी जो ये
एमुनेशन रिकवर करना है।
एमुनेशन कहाँ पे है, सर बताया अभी तो कुछ?
इसके इनकी जमीन है कासम गांव में, वहाँ से लेकर आना है।
कौन सी गांव से सर?
कासम।
कहाँ पे?
रेवाड़ी के पास ही।
A young life cut short, a father now in custody, a mother silent, and a family torn apart by a gun, by ambition, and by a truth still waiting to come out.
It's not just a crime and a murder. It's much more. A sad commentary about women who are financially independent and are living a public life on their own terms. About how they have to face trauma, pressure and even bullets like Radhika Yadav. With camera person Pooja Arya, this is Anushka Garg for NETV.
Shifting our focus to the Kaanta Laga girl, what exactly happened and what killed her remains a mystery as the autopsy report is still awaited. We still don't know what killed Shefali Jariwala, the iconic Kaanta Laga girl. It has been 2 weeks. We are still awaiting answers. There are several theories that are floating around, but the cops, they say that we need more time. 1 more week for autopsy report, as police are saying that there is no foul play in the early probe. It is also suspected that Shefali Jariwala has suffered a cardiac arrest due to self-medication, anti-aging medicines and other stuff that was happening around when she was fasting on that day. But this is all just reportedly, which is what is being circulated in the media. No final confirmation has come in. Take a look at what my colleague Abira has to say.
There are a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to Shefali Jariwala's death. Everybody wants to know what really happened. At such a young age, the actress passed away because of cardiac arrest. So the fans are constantly asking the same question, what caused a cardiac arrest? And we will only know when the post-mortem reports come in. And like you already know that the post-mortem will take another week. So we have to wait for another week. Yes, there were reports that she was fasting on that day, but still she took some anti-aging medicines, she was self-prescribing it to herself. But we have also exclusively spoken to her doctor, and he said that she last came to him in March, but he refused to talk about the treatments she was taking and the medication she was on because of confidentiality between the doctor and the patient. But yes, what caused the cardiac arrest is still a mystery that we need to find out what really happened. Anti-aging medication and skin whitening medications, injections are very, very common in the film industry, in the TV industry. A lot of people who don't belong to the industry also take them. So it is a wake-up call for them also to know what can really go wrong, what are the side effects, and how self-prescribing medication can be fatal to them. So yes, all these questions are unanswered and we are still waiting for an answer.
On that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. And shifting to the drama that is unfolding in Maharashtra, where Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut has released a video allegedly showing Maharashtra Minister Sanjay Shirsat with a bag full of cash. This has sparked a major controversy. You can see the visuals on your screens. That's the Maharashtra Minister sitting comfortably on the bed with a bag full of you don't know what, because UBT claims it's cash. The Maharashtra Minister denies and says, no, it was just clothes, nothing else. But the video has sparked a major row as this comes a day after Shirsat has received an income tax notice. Now, UBT claims that this is the corrupt mindset and the corruption that is unfolding in Maharashtra government, but the Maharashtra government and this minister denies involvement in this video. Take a look at the reaction coming in, as well as my colleague Sujata is joining me with more details.
सच्चाई क्या है सर? वीडियो की सच्चाई बताएं।
वीडियो की सच्चाई क्या, मैं कहते ट्रैवलिंग करके आया हूँ, कपड़े निकाल के बेडरूम पे बैठा हूँ, मेरा डॉग मेरे साथ में है और वहाँ वो बैग छोड़ दिया है। अब शायद घर के लोग चाय बनाने गए होंगे, किसी ने वीडियो निकाला होगा, ये इतना उसमें का तथ्य है। इसलिए इसके बारे में ज़्यादा सोचो मत। ये बेवकूफ़ी भरे ऐसे वीडियो दिखा के, अरे 5-25 लाख रुपए का वीडियो क्या दिखाता है ये? इसमें क्या मिलने वाला है?
दिल्ली में भी
नहीं, अगर वो उसमें का दिख भी रहे हैं तुमको, इसमें क्या है? क्या कुछ है? कुछ भी दिखाने का, कुछ कभी किसी को बदनाम करने का, ये साजिश उसको चलती आ रही है और इसके ऊपर उसका पेट पानी चलता है।
Following the political slugfest in Maharashtra, a new video of Maharashtra Social Justice Minister and Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Shirsat has emerged, where the leader could be seen sitting in a bedroom while smoking a cigarette and also with a stash bag full of cash. Now this video has been shared by Shiv Sena UBT leader Sanjay Raut, who also writes a caption stating that the Prime Minister as well as several big ministers of the nation should watch this video, and also calling Devendra Fadnavis helpless, where he reportedly states that because of such videos and such leaders, the reputation of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra is being harmed. Whereas soon after that, it was Mr. Shirsat who came to his rescue and gave out statements that the bag that could be seen in a video is clearly full of clothes and not of cash, and he also stated that this was a very bad activity by Sanjay Raut to share a video where the leader was not even dressed properly. Whereas at this point, we already know that Shiv Sena has been facing a lot of backlash because of Mr. Sanjay Gaikwad, who also was seen assaulting a worker at a canteen, and thereafter another video of Sanjay Shirsat, who was recently served notice by the IT department for his exponential financial growth, is now again making headlines. Whereas at this point, it is Maharashtra's entire reign that could be seen, where there are leaders commenting and also giving statements that has led to such turmoils happening. And now, one after the another, earlier it was Mr. Gaikwad and now Mr. Sanjay Shirsat, who was already served a notice by the IT department, and now a video being circulated of him on social media where he could be seen with a bag full of cash. Does it really belong to him is something to be investigated at this point, but sooner or later it is that the IT department will investigate the matter, and thereafter was it really a bag full of cash or not will be justified. With video journalist Jitendra Wagmare, this is Sujata Dwivedi reporting for NDTV.
And now some more drama that is unfolding in Maharashtra, where Sena MLA who slapped canteen staff over stale food now targets South Indians, claiming that Marathis wouldn't have made such a mistake. This statement has sparked a major furore. Marathis would have never shown lacks in serving fresh food if they were allowed to run the canteen at the MLA's hostel in Mumbai. These are the words that have been spoken by Shiv Sena legislator Sanjay Gaikwad. This has created a north-south divide again, as saying Shetty people have ruined the culture of Maharashtra. This has not gone down well. Take a look at the reaction coming in, and my colleague Sujata joins me with more.
सच्चाई क्या है सर? वीडियो की सच्चाई बताएं।
वीडियो की सच्चाई क्या, मैं कहते भी ट्रैवलिंग करके आया हूँ, कपड़े निकाल
लोग हैं ये महाराष्ट्र में। आज से इनका ये धंधा नहीं है हमारे लोगों की ज़िंदगी से खेलने का। आज मेरी ज़िंदगी से खेलने का उन्होंने प्रयास किया। पहली बात तो है कि मेरा पेट के दर्द से मैं 20 साल से परेशान हूँ। अगर ज़रा सा भी कुछ कम ज़्यादा होता है तो मुझे बहुत दर्द होता है, इसलिए मेरी जान पहले से जल चुकी थी।
In a case over stale food being served, we saw Shiv Sena leader and Buldhana MLA Sanjay Gaikwad assaulting a worker at the MLA hostel canteen, where thereafter Mumbai police has taken cognizance of the matter and a non-cognizable offence has been reported under his name, where now Mumbai police will investigate and question the leader over why did he assault somebody and what were the grounds that he did so. And after which we saw that the entire action came into force after Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he himself criticised the leader, stating that violence will not be accepted in the state of Maharashtra, and especially when somebody in power like Sanjay Gaikwad does so, it sets wrong record when it comes to political windfall. Thereafter we saw that there was subtle performance and statements being given by several leaders, whereas thereafter it was the Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde himself stating that Sanjay Gaikwad was reprimanded on the entire matter, and he would not let this set a wrong example. Whereas now, after Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis finally spoke on this, a non-cognizable offence has been registered, and also because of the NDTV Impact, where we have been consistently and diligently cover this entire case, where we could see that how Sanjay Gaikwad stays firm on his statement that if anything ever such comes up again, he would again resort to violence, because this is the Shiv Sena style, and this is his style in fact of dealing with people who do not serve his interests. With video journalist Jitendra Wagmare, this is Sujata Dwivedi reporting for NDTV.
And now let's take a look at the prominence of the Shetty community that this MLA is brazenly targeting. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins me with this detail.
The Shiv Sena MLA Sanjay Gaikwad, who's been called out for his boorish behavior, remains remorseless. He's not apologized. Instead, he chose to blame a prominent community living in Mumbai. Who is this community? The Shetty community, and Sanjay Gaikwad has decided they are to blame. And of course, it's there in his comments. Now, let me just tell you who the Shetty community is. There are over 10 lakh members of the Shetty community that live in Mumbai. The Shetty community is also known as the Bant community, and they hail from the coastal parts of Karnataka. They originated from there, and they gradually moved to Mumbai and set up businesses. And of course, their businesses are mostly eateries that came up when Mangalorean banks and other businesses also opened in Mumbai. Today, they are a thriving community, and Mumbai has around 6,000 establishments that are known as Shetty establishments or lunch homes or, eateries that exist all over Mumbai. And the Shettys are known for running these lunch homes in Mumbai. Some of these lunch homes are institutions, but the Shettys run it. They've been running it for years. They've been running it for centuries. And many Shetty establishments have also transitioned themselves into high-end restaurants and, like I said, institutions when it comes to food that's served in Mumbai. Now, Mumbai is also home to the film industry. And there are prominent film industry names that include actors like Aishwarya Rai, Sunil Shetty, Shilpa Shetty, and filmmaker Rohit Shetty, who also belong to this community that's thrived, that's grown, and become an integral part of Mumbai. In fact, Shilpa Shetty, who we all know as an actor, also is the owner of some very popular restaurants in Mumbai, which is restaurants like the high-end Bastian and Inca, which today every Mumbaiker associates with. So that is the history of the Shetty community. They've grown, they've thrived, they've become an integral part of Mumbai, they add character to Mumbai. But MLAs like Sanjay Gaikwad, when they have no defense for their boorish behavior, choose to pin blame or shift responsibility on a community that's been adding to Mumbai's character for years and serving Mumbai some good food for many years.
In a moment that captured both heartbreak and everyday struggles of urban India, a young man in Jaipur was seen in tears after losing his mobile phone to rainwater flooding. This video has moved the internet as he is seen looking for his phone in the flooded street. Several citizens have asked, why do we have to live in such conditions?